I'm Indy Neidell.
And I'm Spartacus Olsson, and this is a TimeGhost public service announcement explaining why it is important that you join the TimeGhost Army and our mission to forge a better future by creating a clearer understanding of our past.
At this moment in 2022, the world is facing challenges that we have seen in the past that once again impact us all. An illegal Russian invasion of Ukraine is threatening the norms which govern international relations and the peaceful coexistence between sovereign nations. It is a war pitting nuclear powers against each other at a time of heightened anti-democratic currents. Around the world, attacks on freedom and liberty are carried by a beast of burden dressed in a falsified account of history.
Since the end of the Second World War, humanity has embarked on a tumultuous journey to construct a world based on human rights and international cooperation. This was born not as a result of a sudden humanitarian epiphany of a few great men, but was an outcome of the lessons learned from the sufferings of 2 world wars.
Put quite simply, it was clear that after half a century of war, there was only one choice for humanity: respectfully coexist or live a life of constant and deadly global strife. For 45 years, progress was made, but humanity still lingered on the precipice of nuclear Armageddon. But with the end of that Cold War, it seemed to many like we had finally taken one great step towards fulfilling the promise of freedom, liberty, and peace.
That said, international and ethnic conflict had not gone away. A large part of the world still lived in a state of domination or undue influence by external powers, but there was a feeling of decreased tension in the air. The 2 major nuclear powers began disarming their arsenals. In China and many parts of the world, quality of life skyrocketed thanks to international economic liberalization. From 1990 to 2000, a transformation occurred. For the first time in human history, a majority of people lived in a democracy.
The progress made was based on the lofty ideals of universal human rights, democracy, and the rule of international law. It was carried on the wings of increased education, communication, and understanding of our common past. Progress that has come under increasing attack in the 21st century.
In 2022, once again, the majority of humanity is deprived of the freedoms guaranteed by democracy. The falsification of history and the erosion of fact are 2 of the weapons in the arsenal used for that attack.
When we began doing historiography on social media close to a decade ago, we set out to tell history from a global, fact-based perspective, free from party political bias and disentangled from the skewed perspective of conflicting national narratives. Our goal was, and remains, to provide in-depth knowledge about our common past, to give everyone an instrument for learning from our ancestors' failures and successes.
As we progressed from the Great War to World War II, we were faced with a question, though. What is the progress we hope to facilitate?
So we turned to the lowest common denominator of the modern world as defined by the community of nations, universal human rights, which in essence must lead to a world governed by democratic principles and peaceful coexistence.
Not only can both the right and the left agree on that, the existence of conflicting political views is imperative for human rights and democracy to exist, and so is a common understanding of facts, and that is what we have set out to make as our contribution.
Or, as the famous adage goes, you are entitled to your own opinions, but you are not entitled to your own facts.
We never expected to reach so many of you who have joined us on that journey as viewers, fans, friends, and members of the TimeGhost Army.
Together with you, we have now created hundreds of videos and reached tens of millions of people all over the globe with content that remains free to view as long as the internet remains so, in order to provide education and insight into our past.
And let us be very clear. This is not an effort by just the 2 of us in the TimeGhost community. We have 30 people, from academic historians to editors to graphic designers and more, creating series like World War II, War Against Humanity, Between Two Wars, Into Context, and our shorter documentaries and other World War II series and specials.
We would like to dig ever deeper and cover even more history, and also expand our reach to new platforms and more people beyond YouTube. This means adapting our content for those platforms to keep up with the fast-changing reality of social media, but also uploading our current content to podcasting platforms and Facebook so that you can share it with people in your life that don't use YouTube, and reaching you directly with a weekly newsletter.
We want us all to be a part of a future where universal human rights, democracy, and the rule of international law are not romantic principles. They are essential rules to safeguard both humanity and our planet. A clear understanding of our past is an important step towards that future.
That is TimeGhost's mission. Join the TimeGhost Army at patreon.com, or please raise your pledge if you are already a member. You can sign up for our newsletter and see our current platforms in the pinned comment below. Let's make history!
Excelsior!